Hi, this is John Lee, also known as Darth Furby on the Lost Marble Anime Studio forums, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this image that I've been working on for the past few days, on and off. I'm in the middle of a project, but I do spend a little time every day working on my own personal stuff, and this is one example. I thought I'd talk a little bit about the process that I go through to create an image like this, and also to analyze this particular drawing as it stands right now. I don't know if it's really finished yet. It doesn't really feel finished. It seems to be missing some stuff, especially in the background. But since I'm in the middle of working on this, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about it while everything is still fresh in my memory. And let's see. Everything here is pretty much vector, except for the special lighting effect there that was done in After Effects. And I created this image in Flash. I usually like to draw freehand in a traditional 2D drawing program like Flash, Photoshop, ArtRage, GIMP, whatever your drawing program of choice should be fine. I prefer to draw in a vector program because you don't have to worry about resolution. You can always adjust to any kind of size you like without losing any quality. So I like to draw all my images in vector and export it into other programs. Like, for example, I could export this particular image into After Effects and apply some special effects on there without losing any quality on the image. But raster is fine too. You get much nicer effects in raster. The artwork looks more natural. You can create more realistic oil-looking paints. The gradients are much better. Texturing. You get all of that in raster, and you don't get that in vector. That's what you sacrifice for vector to get the resolution-independent image. So yeah, I don't know where I was really going with this. I just focused on drawing the head first, and afterwards came up with a really funky pose, which, believe it or not, started out as a stick figure. Specifically, this was the original stick figure that I did. And if you've seen any of my animation tutorials, you'll know that I'm a big advocate of using stick figures, not just for drawing poses, just for a static image, but also it's also great for animation. So once you get your stick figures done in an animated sequence, all you have to do afterwards is draw the final artwork on top using a program like Flash or Anime Studio. I prefer doing the final artwork in Anime Studio when I'm animating. And the cleanup stage, which is basically drawing in the final artwork on top of the stick figure, can be very, very time consuming. I mean, I'm a very slow artist to begin with, and I spent several hours just working on this single image. I'd probably kill myself if I had to do this as an animated sequence. So I usually animate characters that are much simpler than this. But one day in Anime Studio, I hope to develop something to animate something with this level where I can do something like this on a regular basis. Right, so like I said, I worked out a whole bunch of different poses in stick figure format and ultimately settled on this one. I wasn't entirely happy with it, but you know, it doesn't matter. It's stick figure. You can always sort of adjust as you go, which is what I did in this case. So after I do my stick figure, I lay in the volumes, draw a circle around the chest area, and then circles around the shoulder area here, and also sort of an oval shape to describe the waist here. And you'll notice I filled in circles there. You can still see the basic outline of the stick figure underneath. It's just filling in volumes, very rough volume shapes. Then after that, I spent a lot of time drawing the head separately, because the head is so complicated. In fact, drawing the whole body is complicated, but my anatomy skills are pretty weak, so I just try to get away with basic shapes when I'm drawing the body. But with the head, I like to spend as much time as I can on the head because to me that's the most important part of the figure, and it's usually the center point of your drawing, the face. That's a completely separate process that I won't talk about in this video, maybe in a future video. I'm just going quickly through the entire drawing itself. Yeah, but once I draw on the head, I just kind of paste it on top of my rough. And then I go through another pass where I sort of start figuring out what the final line art might start looking like. It's not quite final. As you can see here, I wasn't too happy with the down, with the arm stretching all the way down to the ground, so I decided to bend it. Here, I'm not sure what this pose is doing. I just came up with any wacky pose I felt like and wanted to see what was going to happen, so I thought I'd experiment. I think in the next, let's see, what do I do in frame 2 here? Alright, so here, the next pass, as you can see, I kind of got rid of the original pose of that arm and started bending it to experiment to see what would work. And if you notice, the text is actually reversed, and that's because I like to flip my artwork a lot. Because I'm generally blind to my own work. It's very easy for me to look at someone else's artwork and figure out what the problems are, but I can't seem to see them in my own work because I'm staring at it all the time that I become numb to the issues. Like I even forget what they look like. So I rely a lot on outside feedback from trusted friends who aren't afraid to be honest. But one of the techniques I use to overcome my blindness is to flip the artwork. So I'll flip from, for example, I'll flip it so that you can, it's like looking at the artwork with a fresh set of eyes. And sometimes, a lot of the times actually, the issues will start popping up once I flip it. But not always. Like sometimes you just, no matter what you do, you won't be able to spot them unless you get some kind of outside help. Someone else to give you feedback. So I wasn't too happy with the way the leg was bending, so I thought I'd experiment and see what the leg would look like if it was stretched. And, let's see, I think I started laying in the final artwork to get a preview of what that might look like, and I wasn't too happy. So ultimately I got rid of that straight leg because it would mean I'd have to redraw the whole thing. But essentially this is basically the pose that I got that ultimately led to this. Anyway, I think I'm running over time here, so that's all I'm going to talk about for now. I hope this was interesting. If not, let me know. I won't make any more. I'll try something else next time. Thanks for watching. This is John Lee, also known as Darth Furby on the Lost Marble Anime Studio forums.